Hey guys, it's Dave Novak here, and don't you just hate whenever you go to start your car and then all of a sudden your check engine light comes on? But wait a minute, if you have it off like this, it'll usually stay on, but when you turn it over, everything's running and it's still on. And say, I don't know, maybe you want to take it to get looked at, or perhaps maybe you want to even bamboozle someone you're trying to sell a car to. I'm going to show you how to clear any existing codes and get your check engine light to go out. Let's get to it. First thing you want to do is you want to start off by popping your hood. So pull the lever and pop it. And once you open your hood, you want to go into your engine bay and you want to go to your battery and you want to disconnect your negative battery terminal. For this, you'll need a 10mm wrench or a socket. It's usually a 10mm most of the time. I don't know if you guys remember my van, the 97 Dodge. I'll put a picture right here so you can see. I had to disconnect the battery a lot to work on a bunch of stuff with it, and it was always a 10mm. So that just shows how common, whether it's a 1997 Dodge or even a 2009 Hyundai, it's mostly 10mm. You just take it, loosen your battery terminal. You can do it with either a wrench or a ratchet. I had a wrench handy, so I figured I'll just use the wrench. And then pull the terminal up off the cable. And just as a little trick for when you're doing this, sometimes there's a capacitor in your computer system that holds a little bit of electricity even if your thing dies. So what you want to do is you want to push your foot on your brake pedal a couple times to activate the brake light until it's stiff. And you want to take your key, or if you have a push button, you want to push the button or just turn the key all the way over and nothing's going to happen. And just doing that little trick saves you the time and it drains your capacitor. All right, now after about 15 minutes, what you want to do is you want to take your negative terminal and you want to put it back under the clamp. And you just tighten it with your wrench. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Like always follow by that rule, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. You never want to, especially when you're doing with hard-on bolt when you're doing something. You never want to turn right when you're dealing with a stuck-on bolt, because then you're just going to fuck the thing up. But yeah, anyways, you don't want to get this too tight to where you strip it. You just want to get it to snug so it's not going to come off the battery no matter how hard you budge it. Now we're back in the car, and what we're going to do is we're going to start it up. Let the thing go through its cycle. The engine light is still on because it's not moving, but then we go to turn it over, and the check engine light goes off. Now I'm going to show you what to do in the case you have an existing code. So I'm going to go shut the hood real quick and then we're going to go for a drive. Another tip also, if you're going to disconnect your battery, you're going to lose a lot of your saved data, especially when you drain the capacitor. So you're going to have to reset your range or whatever you like to have on your display. And you're also going to have to reset your time. Like right now it's not 1:02, it's 12:04. So I'm going to reset that real quick and then we're going to head out. And then after you've been driving for a few minutes, you just shut the car off and you wait a few minutes before you head back on. And basically what this does is it takes it through drive cycles. And I just drove up to a church down the street from my house. So wait a few minutes, start it back up, take another drive cycle and park it somewhere else. And after a few drive cycles, if your engine light doesn't come back on, then that means you have no existing problems and you've got no worry about. If it does come back on while you're doing these cycles, then that means there is a current living problem that you need to take care of. So I've been waiting about 10 minutes, been reviewing the footage I've gathered so far. So now we're going to start it up. And we're going to turn it over. It's still off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it another cycle. I'm going to give it a highway cycle this time and put a few miles on it and then see what it like. Or I guess I don't even have to do that because check it out. It came back on. What that means is that I have an existing problem that I need to take care of. So yeah, that, I want to say, not a good thing, but thankfully that came back on. So now I don't even have to do the highway cycle. It just saved me a bit of time. But yeah, normally if it didn't come back on already, you would take a normal, you'd go another cycle, go somewhere else, and then just repeat the process, you know, shut it off, wait a few minutes, turn it back on, and then, you know, after a few drive cycles, if it still doesn't come back on, then you should be good to go. But in my case, I have an existing problem and I need to take this in to get the computer scan. I'm going to do that in another video. And even though this may have been a bust for me, for you, it could be the difference between whether you pass or fail emissions. I know some counties out there require you to pass emissions in order for you to get a new registration sticker. My car has a new registration sticker, but the only reason I could get it was because I put over $300 worth of work into this car for the exhaust before I just got sick of it. And luckily $300 is the draw point for getting a waiver. So I was able to collect a waiver from my county and I was able to get a new registration sticker for it. But I mean, really though, getting those codes away could mean the difference between whether you pass or fail. This has been Dave Novak Auto on Dave Novak TV. Have a good night.